Hypnosis could absolutely save your marriage. And before you come at me for this very bold statement I am making, we need to understand that this is dependent on a couple of things. First and foremost, you both actually want to be in the marriage, meaning you're not just staying together because you want to be there for the kids, it's that you actually want to contribute to your side of being in a relationship with this other person. The next thing is that you both are willing to communicate and you are willing to do the work. You're willing to self reflect. And so if you don't have those pieces together, this conversation is not for you. And so this means this is not the conversation for those of you who are hoping that your partner is going to change. It's that both of you are actively doing the work that you need to do for yourself to be a better partner and probably a better parent. And so this conversation is for the people, the women who are in the middle of separation. They have decided that they want to stay in the marriage, but they're still holding on to who their partner used to be. They're still holding on to all of the anger, resentment, the embarrassment, the feelings, and there is that worry of what if they go back? What if all the work that they're doing really doesn't matter? And this is where I'm going to refer to a client case study. And now we're going to call her Hannah. Hannah came to me because she is in the middle of separation, and she had originally wanted to separate from her husband because he had a drinking problem. This drinking problem was contributing to much of the dysfunction in their relationship, and he was not willing to change at the time. And so she said, you know what? I am done. And in this process, they no longer live together and they have just been co parenting. But somewhere along the way, he decided that he wanted to wake up, stop drinking, and do the work. And he has been consistent at the work that he has been doing, and he has been sober for quite a while now. But Hannah is not able to see past who he used to be. She was still holding on to the anger, the resentment, the embarrassment, the shame, all of those things that had accumulated over the course of their marriage. Now, as we're working together, we find out that they didn't have the foundation of communication that marriages needed. And so, somewhere along the way, they just started growing more resentful of each other. Their communication was not there, therefore, they were not on the same page, therefore, their relationship was not on the same page. One thing led to another, and then here they are, rock bottom, in the middle of separation, having to decide, do I stay or do I go? But the decision is not easy because they have kids. And so, although she might have walked away originally and just said, you know what, fuck this, I'm done, they have kids, and she doesn't want to take their father away. But at the same time, with all the change and the shifts that he's been making within himself, he's doing the work. She's seeing the man that she married and actually wanted to be with. And so she's like, you know what, maybe I do want to be in this marriage. And so she wants to be in the marriage. He wants to be in the marriage, but she is not able to get past all the things that he has done, the things that he had said, and those feelings that she had been carrying, which is exactly how she ended up in my office in the first place. And so she's like, I'm in this space. I don't know if I want to stay, and I don't know if I want to go. How can you help me? And my job is not to hypnotize you into whether you want to stay in your marriage or not. My job is to help give you choice, meaning you are no longer attached to the past, those feelings, those old identities of either yourself or who that other person used to be. Now, as she's already made the decision that she wants to potentially work on the relationship, but she's not quite sure how she's going to get there with all these feelings, I had helped her release all of these emotions and the past identity of him. So now she can clearly say, okay, do I want to stay or do I want to go now that I'm not attached to the past and actually have choice to look into the future with this person without fear, without anxiety, without resentment. But also through this process, she was able to see how she was contributing to the dysfunction of this relationship. And so I know that it sounds like he's the problem, but she realized that she had her problems in the relationship too. And some of that actually stemmed from the fact that she had to carry all the responsibility, single momming, as she was married. And so part of this hypnosis process is allowing her to give the responsibility back to her husband, the responsibility he should have been carrying in the first place. So now she doesn't have to play mom and dad. And she was able to bring up some hard conversations that needed to be had in their relationship because even though she wanted to work it out, she could see him very clearly, they were still not on the same page about how they were going to raise their kids. She spends the most amount of time with the kids, so she recognizes some of their needs a little bit more. And when they were going to discipline their kids, he was not on the same page about what was happening, and it was causing a dysfunction in the power dynamic amongst the kids and the parents. And so although she was in a good place to see him exactly where he is and acknowledge all the work that he's doing, not holding on to all of the feelings, it's that she also recognized that if they didn't nip this being on the same page about disciplining the kids in the same way with the same vision, that their marriage wasn't going to work anyway, because that was also going to create space and resentment in their marriage at some point. And so hypnosis has helped her have the power within herself to sit down and have the conversation and say, this is an ultimatum for me. We need to be on the same page about how we're going to discipline the kids if we're going to live together again and actually co-parent in the marriage dynamic. Otherwise, the kids are going to disrespect both of us and they're going to run all over us, and then we're going to turn on each other. And because he's already willing to do the work and listen, he really took this and he's actually made shifts with it right from the get-go. There were no complaints, there was no pushback. He says, "Okay, I see you. I trust your perspective and your opinion on this, and I'm okay with you leading in this way." And so hypnosis is helping her understand where she needs to redistribute some of the power dynamic within their relationship, not only within herself, but also within both of them as co-parents and partners. And so this isn't just me hypnotizing you out of forgetting everything about your past. This is about shifting the focus on what is actually important. Because if they're doing all of the work now and they're being consistent, meaning they're not doing a really good for a while and then sliding back, it's that now you're able to actually focus on the what's happening in the present. And because she has a partner that is willing to do the work, she can now say, okay, I don't have to carry all of this responsibility and burden because my husband is also here agreeing to be in this dynamic with me. Therefore, let me redistribute some of this energy so that way I don't have to be the primary caregiver. I can simply just focus on being a mom without having to play dad too. But she wasn't going to get to this place until she was able to see her husband in the present moment without the anger, the shame, the guilt, all of those traumatic things. And the best part is that we didn't even have to talk about the past. We didn't bring up all those shitty memories or all of those past experiences. I'm not a licensed therapist. I don't want to be a therapist, okay? My superpower is helping you release your emotional attachment to past experiences and shift your perspective within yourself, within your life, within the multidimensional factors of your entire human experience. And you might be wondering, where does hypnosis come in with all of this outside of just releasing the past? It's that it actually provides the space for you to do the deep reflection and not have your conscious mind constantly giving you that internal dialogue of negativity. Because most people are so distracted by their insecurities and their what ifs, their anxieties, that they're not actually able to focus on creating a solution for themselves. And so, hypnosis allows you to have that space where you're able to just see and experience different perspectives and decide if that's what you want. It removes the resistance around experiencing different perspectives without all of the anxiety.